Have you ever wondered, are you actually getting rich slowly? Or have you just not reached the breakthrough point of your wealth yet? I'm asking seriously, not the kind of question meant to make you feel better about the pile of small bills sitting quietly in your savings account. I'm asking because there's a truth that 90% of people never dare to face. You're not getting rich slowly, mate. You're simply at the most boring part of the journey to wealth. And listen, if you're feeling disappointed every time you look at your net worth chart, if you feel like you've been investing consistently but not getting any richer at all, if you're thinking, maybe I'm just not good at money, then this is the moment. I invite you to pause for 0.5 seconds and look back at the opening question. Are you serious? Are you sure you're getting rich slowly, or have you just not reached the point where everything starts accelerating? You know, everyone wants to get rich, but most people quit right before the most important turn, the turn where money starts working harder than you do. And if you're exactly in the stage of, why am I still not seeing any improvement, then welcome. You're standing right in front of that door, but I get it. You don't want a philosophical lesson. You want the truth that's, blunt, compact, with a little bit of sarcasm to make it easier to swallow. So here's the truth. Wealth doesn't grow like running, Dakakuf. It grows like climbing a mountain, tiring, slow, breathless, easy to quit, easy to complain, but once you hit the right breakthrough point, it's no longer climbing fall. It's sliding downhill fast, chaotic, pleasing, and addictive. The problem is, most people never reach that point. Not because they're bad, not because they're born poor, not because life is unfair, but because they quit at the boring parts. The whole world wants compound interest to save them, but no one wants to go through the phase where compound interest is sleeping. But you're different. Oh, my your heirs. The proof is you're watching this video tail, meaning you want to understand the essence, not look for shortcuts. So let me ask again, ha braflo. This time slower and clearer. Are you really getting rich slowly, or have you just not reached the part where your wealth switches to sprint mode? If this question makes you a bit uneasy, a bit curious, and a bit, maybe I've been tricked by my own emotions, then congratulations. Hurras, you're exactly where you need to be, because in a few minutes, you'll realize you're not slow, you're not bad, you're not clueless about investing. You just haven't reached the 3 milestones that take your wealth from walking to a full sprint. And when you know what those 3 milestones are, I promise, Hebspa, you will never look at your account with disappointment again. Welcome to Mie Invests channel, where smart money moves start here. Subscribe for clear financial strategies. We're going to talk about an image that anyone who grew up in a cold country understands, and anyone who grew up in a hot country only needs to imagine it to start shivering. The snowball rolling down the mountain. That is exactly how wealth works. Not a straight line chart, but a tiny snowball bat math. It first looking like it has no future at all, that grows bigger, faster, and scarier in the wait, why is it getting so huge kind of way as it rolls. And this is the part where most people quit. The early stage of the financial snowball is pretty bad. It's slow. It's small. It's impatient. It makes you question whether you're doing something completely pointless, but that's the nature of it. The early stage is always so slow you want to rearrange your whole life and request a refund. You put in, and your account looks like it's mocking you. But then the magic happens. When the snowball hits one of the 3 milestones, punch up, 100K, 650K, $1 from a harmless little snowball into something rolling down the mountain like it's being chased by someone. You can almost hear a click inside your mind. That's the sound of financial truth snapping into place. So money does know how to throw itself forward. I don't have to push anymore. From that point on, it's not you making money, it's money making more money. And the baby money also makes grandbaby money. all of them strangely enthusiastic. Let me be direct. If you haven't hit $100K yet, you haven't seen the real snowball. If you hit $650K, you start to understand why wealthy people always look calm. If you hit $1M, you understand why the rich keep getting richer, even though they don't seem to do much. This isn't magic. It's physics. Two things accelerate violently when going downhill. A snowball wealth that is invested correctly and left long enough. You need to be praised here in Punar. You don't need to be smarter. You just need enough patience to walk past the stage where the snow refuses to grow. Alright, here's your favorite part. Real numbers, AppNex, real impact, AppTax, no circling around. 3 wealth milestones. 3 different feelings, 3 versions of your breakthrough. Milestone 1. $100,000. The knee-breaking mountain climb stage. Imagine you're climbing a vertical slope. You're breathing like you're about to faint. You look up and think, why is it still so damn high? That's the stage of going from $0 to US $100,000. If you invest $500 a month with an average return of 7% year, it will take you 7 years, 9 months, almost 8 years just to see that first $100K. And here's the part that makes many people cry in the shower. Of that $100,000, nearly $46,000 is money you put in yourself. Only $54,000 is growth. Only $54,000 is growth. Meaning, you do 90% of the work, money does 10%. Not sexy. Not? Wow, not like the stories everyone tells on TikTok, but here's the truth. $100K is the secret doorway to wealth. Whoever crosses $100K also crosses the hardest, most painful, most quit-prone phase. If you hit $100K, you're no longer climbing a mountain. You begin, changing terrain. Milestone 2, $650,000, 6 quarters. The stage where money works more than you do. By the time you reach $650,000, the story changes completely, not because you change, but because money's role changes. At this level, if your portfolio returns 8%, you get around $40,000 to $50,000 per year just from letting your money sit still. This is the stage where you begin breathing through interest. Lose your jaw? Annoying, sure, but not a disaster. You can still live. Want to take a few months off? Okay. Money's got you. Want to learn a new skill? Change careers? Start a small business? Makes sense. No one's pushing you against a wall anymore. At this milestone, you shift from living by salary to living by value. You start choosing work you want to do, not work you're forced to do. This is why many people say financial freedom doesn't start at $1 million. It starts at $650K. Milestone 3. $1,000,000. The identity breakthrough stage is the threshold where everything in your mind clicks all over again. You realize wealth doesn't come from reckless risks. Wealth comes from being so consistent, you sometimes get bored of yourself. 29 years of consistent investing crap. No skipping, no drama can. And you hit $1 million. And here's the fun part. Going from $1M for $2M is way easier than going from $0 1 comes or K dollars. Each additional million comes as fast as ordering food online. One click, die. At this stage, you're no longer working to live. You're using time as leverage. Your assets are the ones with a full-time job, and you're just the gentle manager. This is the moment your identity changes. No longer the person trying to save money, the person who operates money. All right, enough mindset talk. Now comes the part that actually makes you rich. Action, not the dramatic kind of action that changes your life in 24 hours, but the kind of action that's boringly reasonable enough to make you sigh, yet strong enough to save your financial future. And trust me, the way you get rich sounds extremely ordinary. So ordinary, and you might think it doesn't work, but that very ordinary is what creates extraordinary wealth. 1. Cut 2 to 3 emotional spending habits each month. Save up $500 to invest. You don't need to cut all your pleasures. You don't need to live like a financial monk. You just need to cut a few good but unnecessary things. Cut 1 to 2 pointless meals out. Cancel one subscription you forgot you were paying for. Limit a few impulse buys like, oh, this is cute, add to cart. That's it. 3 small things, enough to save $500 a month. I can guess what's on your mind. Come on, what difference does $500 make? It makes a difference. A huge one. $500 month is the ticket that gets you into the wealth race, not to become a millionaire immediately, but to get your snowball rolling. Automate your accounts. Avoid forgetting. Avoid laziness. Avoid, yourself. If there's one person making you poorer every month, that person isn't inflation. In contrary, it isn't the market. It isn't your ex, it's the tired afternoon version of you who always says, this month is tight, but I'll invest next month. So the best solution is automation. Set automatic transfers into your investment account. Choose a fixed date. Do not give yourself the right to think. Why? Because automation is discipline for people who hate disciplines. It protects you from the emotional version of yourself. 3. Invest consistently. Toes. No impulsiveness. No market predictions. 4 to 4. You don't need to guess the peak. You don't need to dodge the bottom. You definitely don't need to read 50 analysis posts a week just to scare yourself. The correct formula is consistent. Kuhn teams. The correct formula is consistent. Invest long. Invest consistently. Whether the market is green or red, invest enough, at least $500, or any stable number. Invest long enough to see your snow start rolling downhill. Do you know why most people don't get rich? Not because they don't know, but because they do the right things not long enough. Or your homework. Do boring things consistently. Doesn't sound sexy at all, but this is the homework that turns you into a completely different person after a few years. Consistent. Steady. Repeated, without emotion. Without drama. Wealth doesn't need you to be exceptionally smart. Wealth only needs you to do boring things consistently for an unreasonably long period of time. Do that, you win. No genius required. Just stubbornness. At some point, you have to realize you're no longer the person who is trying to save money. That label expired. You're not someone picking up every spare coin like life is a marathon inside a discount supermarket. No, you've gone far beyond that. This is the moment your financial identity sheds its old layer. And what is your new identity? You are the person who lets money work for you. Sounds very rich, right? But it's not a fancy quote. It's a new psychological state. And cut. A different version of you that you didn't believe you could become before. Let me tell you the clearest difference between those two versions. The old version, or sometimes now, always thinking, try to save a little more, haunted by every swipe of the card, constantly feeling not enough. Living in a mindset of scarcity, looking at your account and sighing. The new version doesn't save emotionally, overinterrupt, only invests strategically. Money earns money while you sleep, work, or eat ice cream. Doesn't fear unexpected expenses because there's a financial fortress behind you. Lives with a sense of future, momentum, and growth. Yeah, that works. This is identity transformation path. Something stronger than motivation, stronger than advice, stronger than any financial plan written in beautiful ink. Because when you change your identity, will your actions automatically change? When you see yourself as someone who is trying to save, you will forever act like someone who is trying. But when you see yourself as someone who builds wealth, you begin making choices aligned with a wealth-building mind. Less caring about price, more caring about value. Less spending from emotion, more spending from intention. Less chasing lifestyle, more building net worth. Less buying appearances, more buying freedom. And then one day, you realize this truth. A simple sentence that hits the spine of anyone who has ever lived under financial pressure. You no longer live a month-to-month survival life. You're living a year-by-year wealth-building life. Month-to-month survival is a life of fear. Fear of late salary, fear of losing your job, fear of unexpected bills, fear of illness, fear of mistakes. But year-by-year wealth building is a life of control. Ask how Herther Tuz. You know where your money goes. You know what your money will become. Find yourself what your money will become. You know where you're heading. That's the moment you look up and realize you're no longer the version who lives to survive. You're becoming the version who lives to grow. You're no longer someone just trying to survive the economy. You're someone creating leverage for your own future. And from here, every money decision you make is based on one simple question. Does this choice build my wealth or break my wealth? Keep that question in your mind, and you will never go back to the old version again. Alright, here comes the part many people avoid, but you don't. Risk. This is where I don't sugarcoat, don't decorate, I say it straight like plain water. The market will fall. Not might fall, not rumored to fall soon. Fall. For sure. Periodically. Like how you forget to drink water every day. When it falls, do you know what happens? Your account will be bright red. Red in the way that you open your app and ask, where did all my gains go? Red in the way that makes you want to delete the app to save your eyes. Red to the point you start Googling, should I withdraw all my money? You will panic. I'm not saying you might panic. And obviously, you will panic. Panic in the sense of wanting to drop everything, start over later. Finding something safe like a 0.5% savings account so I can sleep. But here is the dividing line between the wealthy and the quitters. The wealthy are the ones who keep investing, even when they're scared. The financially poor are the ones who stop to wait for the market to calm down. Or, to put it more simply, the more scared you are but still invest consistently, the faster you get rich compared to those who wait for the market to stabilize. Why? Because when the market falls, you buy more. You scoop up more stocks on sale. You load up more assets at the exact moment 90% of people are running away in panic. That is the moment your snowball grows the fastest. But what about those who wait for the market to calm? They wait until prices recover then get back in. Meaning they buy at the most expensive point, lose the most, and, repeat that painful cycle forever. You are not them. You are building wealth, not playing with emotions. So remember clearly, market falls, hunt, normal. Red account, hunt, normal. You panic post-ac, super normal. You still invest consistently post-ac, that's how you get rich for real. You don't win because you're brave. You win because you stay more stable than your own emotions. Let me say this gently, yet with a weight heavier than your monthly paycheck. Wealth does not need you to be smart. Truly. It doesn't care what school you graduated from, how good you are at Excel, or whether you can read Japanese candlesticks. Money does not require you to be a genius. Wealth only needs you to be consistent. Consistent enough that your friends think you're boring. Your family thinks you're too careful, while you know you're building something bigger than all those opinions combined. A future unlocked by discipline. The 3 milestones Mets, 100 Pay, 650, 1M wallets, are not the dreams of other people. You don't have to stand behind a glass window watching someone else get rich and sigh. Those 3 milestones are your track. They don't exclude you. They only ask that you run long enough to reach the point where wealth begins running for you. And here's the interesting part. No one is rushing you. No one is telling you to beat the market. No one is demanding you get rich in 5 years, 3 years, or 1 year. You only need to be long enough, steady enough, calm enough to reach the moment money switches into acceleration mode. Then 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you'll look back not in regret like, I wish I had tried harder, but in surprise, maybe even a bit amused because the truth is so simple. Oh, I just needed to start a little earlier. And that moment thought, the moment you realize you won not because of luck but because of consistency, Cardohas, will make you understand this. You were never getting rich slowly. You were simply moving toward the breakthrough point of your life. So if you're in the slow phase, don't be ashamed. If you're in the red phase, don't be discouraged. If you're in the tiny drip phase, don't stop. Because you're building something your future self will thank you for with tears in their eyes. Freedom, troll, and a life not ruled by money. You don't need genius, you just need to begin, platter, and continue.